Okay, here we go with this. God want me to talk about what I've been dealing with. He want me to talk about what I've been dealing with. Let me tell you what I've been dealing with lately in this atmosphere. I've been dealing with so much emotional trait that the emotional trait that I've been dealing with is something that basically big phrase me into something that is very bold statement made. This is a long message right here. Do you understand that at times I felt like I wanted to commit suicide and really go to heaven? And then I look at myself and say, I'm afraid to commit suicide because I don't want to feel the pressure point of a bullet in my brain. And then at the same time, I feel like I want to blow myself up into a smithereen up. Do you understand the fact that I felt like I wanted to basically relax my soul into something where I can make it to heaven? Why do I feel like I want to basically not commit suicide right now? It's all because I've dealt with so much trauma in my life and so much pain and so much theory of an input of an aspect. This is what I can't take about life. What I can't take about it is I have to deal with the everyday struggle of not having a wife in my life. I mean, do you understand that at times I feel like I'm about to basically lose my soul, lose my mind, and then at the same time I feel like I want to jack something up. This is where I have looked at even my own self. I looked at me. I mean, God has said He don't want me to hide nothing. I've looked at who myself is basically in for myself in. God is looking at the direction of me. He's saying that what you did was you envy other men that basically got a wife and you don't have a wife. I mean, you looked at basically your own self. You looked at uh Lawrence from church. You looked at basically Prophet Fred. You looked at basically Twan. You looked at Apostle Wayne T. Jackson. And you also even looked at your own father, Antonio, that got a wife, Matthew. And you look at these men, and do you envy your father for having a wife? No, you don't, because that's your mother, that your earthly father is with. But these other men, you have even envied. You have even envied somebody like your cousin Stephen that also got a wife, and you don't have a wife. So what is it about you, Matthew, of you not having a wife? And when you look at these men that got a wife, you don't have a wife. You even look at somebody like Chip that got him a wife, and you don't have a wife. What is it about this about you, Matthew? Do you understand that the fact that you don't have a wife is something that's dealing with you? What are you currently dealing with? Because you a type of brother, you a type of man that don't like to lower your standards and don't like to lower your expectation of what you want from a sex appeal of a woman. What you want is a woman with oversized enormous titties. What you want is with a woman with super thick, gigantic thighs. And what you want is a woman with an oversized, gigantic booty, Matthew. And I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. So the different direction of this is saying that God is looking at me. He's saying that the reason why you're still not married is because there are no women on this earth that's actually your type. I mean, you have to really use your common sense. I mean, your father will look at you and say, why would you say that it ain't no women on this earth your type? And there's so many women that's in this world. It's more women in this world than men. It's basically 10 women to every one basically man. So I looked at this. I said, if it's really the truth of the outcome of the story, of the input of what it is, God is basically showing me something about me. He's saying that, you know what, Matthew, you know what your problem is? You have to basically deal with life. You have to deal with what you're going through. I mean, you feel like, oh, wow, you can't make it without a significant other of a woman today. And you feeling so messed up all because you're not getting sex. But at the same time, you went over 8 years without sex. So you're being tricked by yourself. How would you say that you going to basically live the rest of your life here on this earth with no woman and no wife, and then at the same time you feel like you about to basically do it for yourself. I mean, you about to do something that's very impossible for a man in today's society to do, to live the rest of their life here on this earth of not basically getting sex. This is something that God looks at. He say, okay, the modern day Apostle Paul did do something like that. The reason why he did it because he technically did not like women. God is showing me that the Apostle Paul was secretly gay in his mind. He wanted to have sex with basically a man. He wanted to have sex with a man. But the thing about this is he still lived the rest of his life with no sex and not getting sex from a man. Now God is showing me something about me. He's saying the fact that I'm sitting up here reaching my own soul, reaching my own imperial point, I'm just doing something with me. God is saying that, okay, fine, Matthew, you don't have everything that you want in life. Okay, this is where you're going to have to really use your common sense with Apostle Wayne T. Jackson. God is going to show me something about him. He say, yes, he is very married to Dr. Beverly, which is also, that's a pastor, and that got a relationship with me as God. But at the same time, Dr. Beverly and Apostle at times get into a little bit of an altercation. Now, do you understand? Apostle Wayne T. Jackson is not perfect. And you got to understand, Matthew, you think that when you get married and when you have all of these different women basically down here on earth, you're thinking that your marriage is going to be a much better relationship with me as God. But at the same time, you are basically married to me as God. Do you have any wives for you to be with down here on this earth? God is showing me he's basically going to give me the answer. And the answer is no. He have no women for me to be with. He's saying that what you need to do, Matthew, is basically stay married to me as God and be in a marriage with me as God, because you're going to understand this is not a gay concept. Because when you're married to me as God, as a man, it's going to show you how your dwelling place is coming up with. So God is teaching me a lesson about me. He's saying that at times I'm going to basically not lose my soul anymore, all because I don't have basically a marriage and I don't have a woman here on this earth aspect. But God is showing me something about heaven. Heaven is basically in a beware of. It's like something that can build me up into what the source is. God is teaching me a direction about me. He's saying that, look, Matthew, understand this concept. What you're going to do is you're going to build something with me. You're going to build something that's basically in the grow end. You're going to build something with the clock end. You're going to build something with the typical end. The typical of the aspect is this: using something with the boat ship. God is saying that these directions that you take for yourself, Matthew, is on a sequence of an input. You have to go with something. I mean, you have to figure out what you got to pop in. You got to shake what you gotta shake in, and everything is coming up with the ordeal in. Now God is teaching me a lesson about me with the indication of the draw drip. I have to do something for myself in order to element me into a cycle of what the cycle road is. The figuration of the IP road is looking at each direction what it's supposed to be about on. Now God is teaching me about this woman named Maria that basically worked at True. She said, I want you to do this. I want you to bring a notebook and basically a rap song for you to rap to me. God looked at me and said, no, you're not doing that. You're going to show Maria these 2 YouTube basically tracks that you did at the studio to show her that you are basically a voice speaker. You're not a rapper. You don't have rapping ability, Matthew. What you got is voice speaking. That is the calling of your life. Now, this is something that the Apostle Paul did. He was not a rich man, but he wrote the most books of the New Testament. That is something that God is showing me. The Apostle Paul did this. He said, okay, fine, God. I do at times feel like I want to have sex with a man in my mind mentally, but I know I can't do it because I don't want to sit up here and go to a convention of a mode and a convention of what it's supposed to be about for, because the convention is this: being convicted basically with a felony made and basically not looking right in his decimal made. So God is showing me something about me. I have to sit up there and deal with the consequence of not having nobody here on this earth. So God is saying when I get to heaven, I'm going to have women. with oversized, enormous titties, super thick, gigantic, oversized, gigantic thighs, and also oversized, gigantic booties. That's for me in heaven. So God is teaching me something about me while I'm living here on this earth, is to basically do the purpose that I'm supposed to do and make it in a dwelling of what it is. And that's enough said.